You see, life is not something to be controlled, it is something to be experienced. The more you grasp, the more it slips through your fingers. The more you demand certainty, the more uncertainty shows up to remind you that control was never the point. The river does not need to be pushed to flow. It flows naturally, effortlessly, endlessly. And yet here we are straining against the current, trying to make life happen instead of allowing it to unfold. We have forgotten that letting go is not giving up. It is the highest form of trust. It is the ultimate dance with existence itself. Relax. You do not have to hold the universe together. You do not have to figure out every path, predict every outcome, or solve every question that your mind throws at you. The more you let go, the more life gives you, because life cannot fill hands that are already clenched. Life cannot pour blessings into a cup that is already full of expectations and tension. It is in the softening, in the surrender, that the magic begins. When you stop chasing, things begin to arrive. When you stop trying to force love, it comes naturally. When you stop worrying about money, opportunities appear where you least expect them. It is not because the universe suddenly changes, but because your vibration, your consciousness aligns with the effortless rhythm of life. When you let go, you are no longer in resistance. You become a channel through which life can move freely. Consider for a moment that everything you desire is already here, not tomorrow, not in some distant future, but here in this very moment. The only barrier between you and the experience of it is your own mental grip, the insistence that you must make it happen through worry, control, and struggle. But reality responds to being trusted. It responds to faith. The universe is not your servant to be commanded, it is your partner to be danced with. There is a strange paradox. The more we try to make something happen, the further it drifts away. Have you noticed that when you desperately want someone's attention, they pull back? When you chase money with fear, it hides. When you obsess over your manifestation, it delays. But when you relax, when you release the tension of needing it, it suddenly arrives as if it had been waiting for you to stop pushing it away with your anxious grip. Letting go is the art of remembrance. It is remembering who you are beyond the illusion of control. You are not the storm, you are the sky that holds it. You are not the noise, you are the silence that observes it. You are not the one who must force the flower to bloom. You are the awareness that watches it unfold naturally. When you truly understand this, you begin to experience a deep inner peace that no external circumstance can disturb. This is not passivity. This is not laziness. It is mastery. To let go does not mean to abandon your dreams, it means to align with them. It means to trust the unseen, to know that everything that is meant for you is moving toward you with perfect precision, and all you need to do is remain open, receptive, and calm. The more you fight against life, the more life fights back. The more you allow it, the more it flows in harmony with you. Have you ever noticed that when you're truly relaxed, when you're on vacation, walking in nature, or lost in music, your best ideas come to you effortlessly? Inspiration flows in like a breeze through an open window. That's because your mind is finally quiet enough to receive. The divine whisper can only be heard in the stillness. And yet most people are so busy shouting their demands at the universe that they never pause long enough to hear the answer. Relax, you are being guided. Even when you don't see it, there's an intelligence moving through your life that knows exactly what to do. It doesn't need your panic, it needs your trust. Just as your heart beats without your command, just as your lungs breathe without your effort, life too moves in a rhythm of its own. When you try to interfere, you only create friction. When you surrender, the harmony returns. There's a quiet knowing that emerges when you finally stop trying to make sense of everything. You realize that everything that has ever happened to you, every delay, every rejection, every heartbreak, was not chaos, but choreography. It was life moving you towards something higher, something more aligned with your true path. But you only see that when you stop judging the process and start trusting the timing. It's a profound irony that when we let go, we gain everything. The lover who clings too tightly suffocates love. The one who clings to wealth with fear repels abundance. But the one who releases, who trusts that whatever leaves will be replaced by something even greater, becomes magnetic. You begin to radiate peace, and that peace draws all things toward you, because peace is power. Peace is the highest frequency. Your thoughts are seeds. Your feelings are the soil, but forcing a seed to sprout by pulling at it does not make it grow faster, it only destroys it. The seed blooms when the conditions are right: warmth, stillness, and time. So it is with manifestation. When you plant your intention, you must then relax and allow. To dig it up every day with worry is to uproot it before it can take form. You must trust that once the desire is planted in consciousness, it is already done. Your only task is to live as though it's already real, to feel it, to rest in it, to enjoy the process of its unfolding. The mind loves to complicate what is simple. It says, I must visualize more, I must affirm harder, I must take more action. But all this doing springs from a hidden fear that you are not enough, that life will not deliver unless you force it. And yet, the universe operates not by effort, but by resonance. What you feel, you attract. What you trust, you create. What you release, you make space for. Relax. You are not separate from the intelligence that runs the cosmos. You are it. You are the consciousness dreaming itself into existence. You are the one who has been pretending to be small, pretending to be powerless, pretending to need control. But when you let go, when you stop pretending, the illusion of separation dissolves. You begin to feel the rhythm of the universe moving through you, softly, gently, with divine precision. There is something breathtakingly beautiful about not knowing what's next. When you let go of the need to predict, you open yourself to infinite possibility. You start to live in the flow instead of the fight. You begin to realize that uncertainty is not your enemy, it's the playground of creation. Every moment becomes an invitation to trust deeper, to relax further, to surrender more completely. The secret is this: you cannot hold on to life and experience it fully at the same time. Life must be allowed to breathe through you, to move through you, to dance with you. The tighter your grip, the less you feel. But when you let go, when you surrender to the flow, every sensation becomes vivid, every sound becomes music, every breath becomes sacred. When you are relaxed, the mind softens, and in that softness, miracles unfold. Suddenly, synchronicities appear, people, opportunities, messages from the universe that seem to arrive at just the right time. This is not coincidence, this is coherence. You have aligned your energy with the rhythm of existence. You are now moving with the current instead of against it. And this is the state from which true manifestation occurs, not from tension or anxiety, but from alignment. You don't create by force, you create by feeling. You don't attract by control, you attract by allowing. You don't manifest by pushing, you manifest by believing. The universe is always responding to your state of being, and when your state is relaxed, open, and trusting, it mirrors that back to you as peace, abundance, and love. You see, there's a telepathic rhythm to life. Every thought, every emotion sends ripples through the unseen field of reality. When you are tense, those ripples are chaotic. When you are calm, they are harmonious. And harmony attracts harmony. This is why the most powerful people are not those who dominate the world, but those who are at peace with it. They move with quiet authority, with effortless grace, because they understand that life responds not to their demands, but to their vibration. Letting go, then, is not an act of weakness, but of power. It's saying, I trust life more than I trust my fear. It's saying, I don't need to know how, it's already known. It's choosing to rest in the truth that what is yours cannot miss you, and what misses you was never meant to be yours. When you embody this, life begins to move mountains on your behalf. Doors open where walls once stood. People arrive as if by magic. Timing becomes divine. The irony of control is that it arises from fear of loss, and that fear of loss creates loss. When you cling, you vibrate lack. When you release, you vibrate abundance. When you let go, you signal to the universe, I am safe, I am ready, I trust. And that signal is irresistible. Everything begins to rearrange itself around your calm certainty. Imagine floating on your back in the ocean. The water supports you completely, effortlessly, as long as you don't struggle. The moment you start to panic, the moment you tense up, you begin to sink. Not because the water has changed, but because your resistance has. The same applies to life. The universe has always been supporting you. It's only your tension that creates the illusion of drowning. So breathe, soften your grip, let the current carry you. It knows the way far better than your anxious mind ever could. When you let go, you are no longer chasing energy. You are becoming it. You begin to radiate ease, and ease is magnetic. Have you noticed how you are drawn to people who seem calm, confident, and unbothered? It's because they exude safety, and safety is love. When you relax into your own being, when you stop fighting yourself and the world, you emit that same energy. You become a lighthouse without trying. Life starts to mirror that state of inner relaxation. The right people find you. The right opportunities unfold. The right timing reveals itself. You begin to realize that nothing was ever missing. It was only waiting for you to stop resisting. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. It means you stop insisting that things must happen your way and start trusting that they are already happening the best way. It's a different kind of participation. It's participation through alignment rather than force. When you walk through life in that relaxed awareness, something incredible happens. You begin to feel the universe responding to your calm. It's as if life says, "Ah, finally you trust me. Now I can show you what I've been preparing all along." You start noticing that people treat you differently. Situations that once felt heavy now flow easily. Your mind feels clearer. Even your body relaxes because it finally feels safe to exist. That safety radiates outward and transforms your reality from within. And the most extraordinary part is, you don't have to earn this peace, you simply have to allow it. It's been there all along, waiting beneath the noise of your struggle. When you let go of trying to make things happen, you return to the natural rhythm of creation. And in that rhythm, you are taken care of, guided, and deeply loved. The beauty of surrender is that it reveals what was always true. You were never separate from life. You were never a stranger in this universe trying to find your place. You were always home. You were always carried, always guided, always supported by a presence that knows you more deeply than you know yourself. When you finally relax into that knowing, the struggle ends. You stop wrestling with your reflection in the mirror and start dancing with it. You stop trying to fix the river and begin to flow with it. The more you let go, the more you realize that life was never about control, it was about communion. The universe is not something to conquer, it is something to commune with. Every event, every person, every circumstance is a mirror showing you something about your own vibration. When you tense up, the reflection becomes distorted. When you relax, the image becomes clear. This is why inner peace is not just a feeling, it is a creative force. From that stillness, new realities are born. To relax is to trust the invisible. To rest in the unseen is to understand that reality begins in consciousness, not in circumstance. You see, everything you experience outside of you is a projection of what you believe inside of you. When you hold on tightly to fear, the world seems hostile. When you relax into faith, the world becomes friendly. When you let go of resistance, life starts to reflect your calm. You begin to notice the subtle ways the universe communicates through signs, coincidences, gentle nudges that seem to whisper, "You're on the right path." But the anxious mind cannot hear those whispers. It is too loud, too busy rehearsing fear and replaying the past. It believes that worry is a form of control, that tension will somehow protect it from disappointment. But life does not reward tension, it rewards trust. The tighter you grip, the more you suffer. The softer you become, the more grace enters your world. Relaxing into life is an act of courage because it means you are willing to live without guarantees. You are willing to walk into the unknown and trust that the ground will appear beneath your feet. You are willing to see that what you call uncertainty is actually infinite possibility. When you stop trying to dictate every outcome, life can finally surprise you. The unexpected becomes beautiful. The unknown becomes sacred. When you let go, even time changes. You begin to notice that everything happens precisely when it's meant to. Not a moment too soon, not a moment too late. The waiting is not punishment, it's preparation. The pause between desire and manifestation is the gestation period of reality. Just like a seed in the soil, your intention is growing in the dark, drawing nourishment from the unseen. You can't see it yet, but it's becoming, and your trust, your calm, your faith is the sunlight that helps it bloom. To relax is to align, and when you are aligned, life bends to meet you. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer beg, you become. You no longer look for signs, you are the sign. Your very being radiates the frequency of what you desire, and the universe, like a mirror, reflects it back with precision. There is a telepathic resonance between you and all of existence. Every thought you hold, every emotion you nurture, sends a vibration that ripples across the field of consciousness. When you are relaxed, your energy becomes coherent, harmonious. Others feel it without knowing why. They are drawn to your calm, inspired by your ease, healed by your peace. You begin to communicate without words. You begin to attract without effort. You begin to manifest through stillness rather than struggle. That is the true secret of creation. Manifestation is not about commanding the universe, it's about cooperating with it. It's about feeling yourself already in possession of what you desire and then releasing the need to control how or when it appears. When you release that need, you step into alignment with the creative force that makes worlds. You stop trying to make something happen and instead allow what is already happening to unfold through you. This is the flow that mystics, poets, and sages have spoken of for ages, the effortless movement of life through a surrendered heart. It's not about withdrawal from the world, but about deeper participation in it. You participate by allowing. You act without forcing. You give without fear of loss. You receive without guilt. You love without needing anything in return. This is the freedom that comes from letting go. Imagine standing in the middle of a forest. The trees do not compete with one another. The flowers do not rush to bloom. The river does not wonder if it's flowing in the right direction. Everything simply is. Everything moves according to its own timing, its own rhythm, its own intelligence, and that same intelligence flows through you. When you resist it, you suffer. When you surrender to it, you thrive. The ego fears letting go because it believes it must control everything to survive. But you are not the ego, you are the awareness behind it. The ego is the voice that says, if I stop worrying, everything will fall apart. But awareness says, if I stop worrying, everything will fall into place. And it's true, you can feel it. The moment you release your grip, the moment you exhale, the moment you stop trying so hard, the energy shifts. It's as though the whole universe sighs with you, saying, finally, you've remembered. You've remembered that you are not separate from the source of all things. You've remembered that you are not here to struggle, but to create. You've remembered that abundance is not something you chase, but something you allow. The more you relax, the more life gives you because you are no longer blocking the flow of its gifts. Have you ever watched how life responds when you stop taking things so seriously? Suddenly the heaviness lifts. You start to laugh more. Solutions appear where problems once stood. People respond to your energy in new ways. It's not magic, it's alignment. Your relaxed state signals to the universe that you are in harmony, and harmony always attracts harmony. You might even begin to notice a telepathic rhythm between you and those you love. When your energy is calm, they feel it. When you stop worrying about them, they start to thrive. When you stop trying to change them, they begin to change naturally. Because energy is contagious and love without control is the purest form of healing there is. To let go is to send a silent message to the universe, I trust you. And that message is heard in dimensions beyond what your mind can comprehend. Doors open, hearts soften, circumstances rearrange. Sometimes even people who once left your life return, not because you chased them, but because your energy called them back in peace rather than need. Relax. There is no competition. There is no rush. The universe operates in divine timing, and you are always right on schedule. Every delay, every detour, every closed door was simply redirecting you to what was truly meant for you. What if you began to see every obstacle as an act of grace? What if you began to believe that life is not happening to you but for you? Then you would stop struggling and start flowing. And when you flow, you notice something miraculous. Life starts to meet you halfway. When you walk with faith, the path rises to meet your feet. When you breathe deeply and release your grip, reality reshapes itself to match your calm. The things that once seemed impossible begin to unfold naturally, effortlessly, because the universe loves a relaxed soul. It can work through you without resistance. The secret to mastery is relaxation. The secret to love is letting go. The secret to abundance is ease. The secret to life is trust. All the great manifestations you could ever desire are already waiting, not in the future, but in the moment you finally surrender the need to control how they come. Every manifestation is born in silence. Every miracle begins in stillness. The more still you are within, the faster the outer world reorganizes itself to match your inner frequency. This is why meditation, daydreaming, music, and joy are so powerful. They quiet the noise long enough for you to feel the truth beneath it. And that truth whispers softly, you already have everything you seek. When you know this, not intellectually but experientially, you walk differently, you speak differently, you carry yourself with an unshakable peace because you know that you are guided. Even when things appear to go wrong, you trust that they are going right in ways your mind cannot yet see. You stop chasing certainty and start enjoying the mystery. You stop grasping and start receiving. There comes a moment in your evolution when you realize that nothing needs to be fixed. You don't need to heal to be worthy. You don't need to achieve to be valuable. You don't need to prove anything to be loved. You simply need to relax into your own being, and everything else follows. When you let go, you stop separating the spiritual from the physical. You see that everything, every conversation, every coincidence, every breath is part of the divine dance. The sacred is not somewhere else. It's here, in the ordinary, shimmering quietly beneath the surface of your awareness. You begin to feel that even your thoughts are not random. They are conversations between you and the universe. When you think lovingly, lovingly life responds. When you think fearfully, life mirrors that fear, not to punish you, but to remind you of your creative power. The moment you relax, your thoughts soften and your vibration rises. That is when the miraculous begins. You see, letting go is not something you do, it's something you stop doing. You stop holding, you stop resisting, you stop doubting, you stop pushing. You simply rest in the knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. This rest is not sleep, it's awakened awareness. It's being fully alive and fully at peace all at once. And as you dwell in this state, you start to feel the energy of the universe pulsing through you. You begin to sense that your desires are not separate from the universe's desires. They are the same impulse. The same life force that moves the stars is moving you toward your fulfillment. And when you let go, you allow that force to carry you effortlessly toward everything meant for you. When you begin to trust the invisible order of things, life becomes beautifully simple. You no longer spend your days tangled in mental arguments about what should or shouldn't be. You simply move with what is. And in that movement, there is a sacred rhythm, a conversation between your soul and the whole cosmos. Every step you take in faith is met by the universe with a step toward you. It's as if the ground itself forms beneath your feet with each trusting breath. The reason the universe seems to open up when you relax is that you stop pushing against it. You stop sending mixed signals of desire and doubt, longing and fear. You become coherent, clear and receptive. You say through your calm energy, I am ready. And life hears you instantly. It hears you not through words, but through vibration. Words belong to the surface. Energy speaks to the depths. And so when you soften, when you allow, the energy field around you shifts. Others feel it. Circumstances bend to it. The universe rearranges to match it. This is not imagination. It is physics of consciousness. You are not separate from the field. You are the field expressing itself as you. That is why letting go is so powerful. When you relax, you stop fragmenting your energy into worry and resistance. You become one with the creative pulse that makes galaxies and grows flowers and beats your heart. To let go is to trust this pulse. It's to remember that the same intelligence that made your body, that spins the earth, that lights the stars, is guiding your path. The more you trust it, the more effortlessly you flow. The less you trust it, the more you suffer, not because life is cruel, but because resistance hurts. Like trying to swim upstream against a mighty current, it exhausts you. But the moment you turn around and allow the current to carry you, you realize it's been supporting you all along. Every desire you have is already known by this intelligence. You don't have to scream your wishes into the void. You don't have to beg. You simply have to align. You do that by feeling what it's like to already have it, by relaxing into that vibration, by resting in the assumption that all is well. Then life rushes to fill the space of your calm certainty. If only you could see how much energy is wasted in struggle, every anxious thought, every attempt to control, every moment spent doubting your worth. It's like building walls around yourself and then wondering why the light can't reach you. But the moment you drop those walls, the moment you breathe and allow, everything becomes radiant again. Life is like water. It finds its way through every crack, around every obstacle. When you relax, you become fluid like water. You stop trying to control the direction and instead allow yourself to be carried to where you're meant to be. You stop demanding that the river bend around your will and you learn the joy of floating. Floating requires trust. It requires surrendering your weight to something unseen. But that unseen something has always been holding you. You have never fallen. Every time you thought you were lost, you were simply being guided to a new depth of yourself. Every closed door was an invisible protection. Every ending was a disguised beginning. You only see this clearly when you let go of the story of struggle and begin to relax into the larger story of grace. This grace surrounds you even now. You can feel it when you breathe deeply, when you release the shoulders you've been unconsciously holding up, when you drop back into the present moment and realize there's no problem here. The only problem is your insistence that life should look different than it does, but once you accept what is, you open the space for transformation. Acceptance is not resignation, it's awareness. It's saying, I see what's here and I choose to make peace with it. From that peace, new possibilities emerge. You don't have to force change, you allow it. You become like the earth in springtime, soft and fertile, ready to receive the seeds of new creation. Every dream you have ever had is already vibrating in another dimension of you. When you let go, you allow those vibrations to merge into physical form. But if you grip too tightly, if you demand that they appear now, in this way on your schedule, you disrupt the natural process of unfolding. Creation requires space, relaxation creates space. You can feel this in relationships too. The more you cling to someone, the more they feel suffocated. But when you relax and allow them to be, love flourishes, because true love cannot exist in tension, it thrives in freedom. You do not lose what is meant for you by letting go. You allow it to return in its truest form. In fact, the universe often tests your willingness to release before it gives you what you want. It asks, can you trust when you don't see? Can you rest when you don't know? Can you love without attachment? Because when you can, you have learned the rhythm of life itself. You have become unshakable. You have discovered the peace that passes understanding, the peace that says, even if nothing changes, I am whole. And from that wholeness, everything changes, because now you are no longer chasing from lack. You are attracting from fullness. You are not trying to get love. You are being love. You are not trying to make money. You are embodying abundance. You are not trying to manifest peace. You are peace. And reality, being the mirror that it is, must reflect that back to you. You begin to realize that the universe has never been testing you. It's been tuning you. Every challenge, every delay was shaping your energy into alignment. You were never being punished. You were being prepared. And when that preparation is complete, when your vibration is stable in trust, the floodgates of blessing open. This is why the more you let go, the more life gives you. Because when you are relaxed, you are open. And when you are open, life can pour through you. Inspiration flows, intuition sharpens, synchronicities multiply. You start to feel the invisible conversation between your inner state and the outer world. You think of someone and they call. You imagine an opportunity and it appears. You feel grateful, and more reasons to feel grateful arrive. This is not coincidence, it is correspondence. The outer is always matching the inner. That is the telepathic nature of existence. Every cell in your body, every wave in the field around you is communicating with the larger whole. When you are in harmony, the entire universe conspires to support you. But harmony cannot be forced, it must be felt. It is born from relaxation. When you are tense, you cut yourself off from intuition. When you are relaxed, you hear the subtle guidance that says, go here, wait there, speak now, rest today. Life begins to guide you moment by moment, like a silent orchestra conductor arranging your symphony, and the music that plays through you becomes exquisite. You will notice that people who are deeply at peace seem to move slower, but everything they touch happens faster. It's because they are not wasting energy in inner resistance. They act from flow, not from fear. They have learned the sacred art of allowing, and in allowing they have discovered the secret of creation, that you don't manifest by force, you manifest by faith. Faith is not blind belief, it is felt certainty. It is the quiet knowing that says, it is done. When you feel that way, reality has no choice but to catch up. That's the law of vibration, the unseen mathematics of consciousness. When you rest in the vibration of already having, you magnetize the experience of it in this world. So relax, breathe. Life knows what it's doing. The more you try to control it, the more you interfere. The more you let go, the more it reveals its intelligence. You are not behind, you are not late, you are not missing anything. You are exactly where you need to be for the next miracle to unfold. And when you stop trying to rush, when you stop demanding, you begin to notice the small miracles that were there all along, the breeze that touches your skin like a lover's hand, the sunlight that warms your face, the silence that holds you when you finally stop thinking. These are not trivial moments, they are the essence of being alive. When you are present, you realize that life is not waiting to begin after you achieve something, it's happening right now. And the more you let go, the more vividly you can experience it. You begin to see that heaven was never somewhere else. It was hidden in the very breath you just took. There is nothing you need to fix. There is nothing you need to earn. You have always been enough. The universe does not ask you to prove your worth. It asks you to remember it. And when you do, everything aligns around that remembrance. When you truly understand this, a remarkable shift occurs in your perception. You no longer measure life by outcomes or achievements. You measure life by presence, by the depth of feeling you allow yourself to experience. Every moment becomes a doorway into the infinite. Every encounter, every sensation, every breath is imbued with sacred potential. You begin to notice that life itself is a reflection of your inner state, and so you cultivate calm, peace, and joy within, knowing that the outer world will mirror these qualities back to you. The act of letting go is itself a form of creation. When you release the frantic grip on circumstances, when you stop forcing outcomes, you open a channel for intelligence to flow through you. It's a dance between your desire and the universe's infinite wisdom. You no longer pull, you flow. You no longer push, you allow. And in that flow, miracles occur naturally, effortlessly, beautifully. Consider the telepathy of consciousness, the unseen connection between you and the universe. Every thought, every feeling, every expectation emits a signal into the field of possibility. When your energy is tense, these signals are chaotic, dissonant, and often ignored. When your energy is relaxed, coherent, and calm, the universe resonates in perfect harmony with your inner state. People, circumstances, opportunities, everything begins to move in alignment with your relaxed certainty. Manifestation is not a struggle, it is a surrender. It is not an effortful calling of things into being, but a joyful recognition that what you desire already exists in the unseen, waiting for your acknowledgement. When you relax, you acknowledge it. When you rest in the reality of it, it cannot help but appear in your experience. The key is not action but alignment, not force but feeling, not anxiety but trust. And trust comes from knowing that the universe is alive, conscious, and responsive. It is not a blind mechanism nor a random chance. It is intelligence expressing itself through infinite forms, including your own life. Everything that touches you is an opportunity to recognize this intelligence, to participate in its dance, to feel its rhythm. When you let go, you step into this rhythm and the world bends to accommodate your alignment. There is a subtle power in relaxation. The more you release, the more you attract. The more you surrender, the more the universe conspires on your behalf. And the more you attempt to control, the more you resist the natural unfolding, creating friction where there could be grace. The river does not need to be forced to reach the sea. The river flows effortlessly, and so too will your desires when you stop holding them at arm's length and allow them to return to you naturally. Notice the paradox. The harder you chase, the further it seems to run. The tighter you grasp, the more it slips away. But the moment you stop, the moment you let go, the moment you breathe and trust, what you seek appears without effort. This is not mysticism, it is the natural law of resonance. You are a transmitter and receiver of energy. When your vibration is fear, lack, or desperation, life reflects that. When your vibration is calm, abundant, and trusting, life responds with harmony. You have already felt this in your life. Perhaps it was a time when you stopped worrying, and suddenly things fell into place. Perhaps it was a moment when you stopped forcing a relationship, and love appeared naturally. Perhaps it was a situation where you let go of trying to control outcomes, and a solution arose from nowhere. These were not coincidences, they were demonstrations of the principle. The more you let go, the more life gives. Relaxation is the gateway to infinite possibility. When you are relaxed, your mind is open, your heart is receptive, your energy is aligned. You can hear the subtle whispers of intuition guiding you, leading you to people, places, and opportunities perfectly timed. You notice synchronicities, the effortless unfolding of events that could not have been orchestrated by your limited mind. You become a magnet for everything that matches your inner vibration. Every desire is already here, waiting. Your dreams are not distant. They are vibrating within the field of consciousness. When you let go of the need to manipulate, you allow your reality to catch up with the frequency of your inner state. You embody your wish fulfilled before it materializes externally, and in doing so, you draw it into form. The universe responds not to anxiety, fear, or effort, but to presence, feeling, and trust. Think of your own life as a garden. You plant seeds of intention, water them with belief, and then step back. If you pull at the seedlings every day, if you demand that they grow according to your schedule, you harm them. But if you allow the soil, sun, and water to do their work, the plants flourish naturally. So it is with manifestation. Your letting go is the fertile soil in which your desires can grow. Even in relationships, this principle holds. The more you cling, the more resistance you create. The more you control, the more the energy shifts away from you. But when you relax, when you release attachment, when you trust the flow, love returns more abundant than you imagine. The other person is not a problem to be solved. They are a reflection of your state of being. When your energy is calm, inviting, and aligned, it awakens the same energy in them. This is the power of telepathy and human connection. The energy we project shapes the responses we receive. You are always communicating beyond words. Every thought, every emotion, every feeling sends a signal. Relaxation amplifies coherence. Tension distorts it. Harmony attracts harmony. This is why your inner state is more powerful than any outer action. Relaxation is a statement of faith. It is a declaration that you trust life to know what is best. It is a recognition that your desires do not need to be forced into existence. They are already present in the unseen, waiting for your conscious acknowledgement. Your task is not to create them, but to feel them, to live from them, to align with their reality. When you do, life responds with effortless grace. And there is joy in this surrender. Joy that does not depend on outcomes, joy that exists independently of circumstances, joy that is born from the simple recognition that life is intelligent, benevolent, and alive. This joy cannot be taken from you because it arises from the deepest source within, the unshakable knowing that you are part of the infinite and that the infinite is on your side. The more you let go, the more this joy expands. The more you release tension, the more abundance flows. The more you trust, the more opportunities appear. The more you surrender, the more life conspires to meet you where you are. And the beautiful paradox is that by doing nothing but relaxing and allowing, you achieve everything you could ever desire. So breathe, allow, trust. Rest in the knowing that you are being guided, that you are loved, that you are infinitely supported. Every thought you think, every feeling you cultivate shapes the world you live in. When you let go of fear, you create space for miracles. When you stop struggling, you discover the effortless power that is your birthright. Relaxation is not passive. It is the most active form of participation in the universe. It is saying yes to life, yes to the flow, yes to the unseen intelligence that moves through everything. It is living as if what you desire is already real, feeling it, embodying it, without pushing or demanding. And in that relaxed state, life gives freely, abundantly, beautifully, endlessly. As you deepen into this understanding, you begin to notice how much energy is wasted in resistance. Every anxious thought, every attempt to control, every fear of loss, it all fractures your energy, scatters your focus, and blocks the natural flow of life. But the moment you let go, something miraculous happens. Your energy coheres, you become whole again, you become like a clear lake, reflecting the sky perfectly, without ripples of doubt or fear disturbing its surface. And it is from this state of clarity that life begins to respond with precision, grace, and abundance. When you allow yourself to relax, to truly release the grip of worry and attachment, you enter a state of effortless creation. You see, manifestation is not about striving or forcing, it is about being. It is about feeling the reality you desire as already present, and then allowing the unseen to bring it into form. The universe does not need your anxiety to motivate it. The universe responds to your state of being. When you are calm, centered, and relaxed, you are broadcasting the signal of fulfillment, and the world has no choice but to answer that vibration. This is why so many people struggle with life. They try to wrestle reality into submission. They cling to control as though their worth, their security, and their happiness depend on it. But they forget that life is not a problem to be solved. It is an experience to be danced with, and the dance cannot be performed while gripping the partner's shoulders too tightly. You must relax, let go, and trust that the rhythm of the universe will carry you beautifully through each step. Every time you let go, you make room. You make space for new experiences, new opportunities, and new joys to enter. Holding on too tightly creates a kind of psychic congestion, a blockage that prevents the flow of abundance. But release opens the channels. When you relax, you are no longer pushing against life, you are moving with it. And the movement of life is always toward expansion, toward fulfillment, toward joy. It is fascinating how the mind resists this simplicity. It tells you that you must control, that you must force, that you must hustle endlessly to make life happen. But this is the illusion of separation, the belief that you are alone in the universe, that the creative intelligence outside of you is blind to your needs. Nothing could be further from the truth. The universe is not separate from you. It is the very consciousness that you are. When you relax, you step into alignment with that consciousness. You stop opposing yourself and start moving in harmony with the infinite. And in this alignment, you begin to notice the signs, the synchronicities, the invisible threads weaving your life together. People arrive at the right moment. Opportunities appear effortlessly. Doors open without struggle. And the more you relax, the more attuned you become to this invisible orchestration. You realize that life has been orchestrating for your benefit all along. It was only your tension, your insistence on control that obscured the view. Relaxation is not a withdrawal from life. It is an embrace of it. It is not passivity, it is power. You do not need to manipulate circumstances or coerce outcomes. You simply need to become a living expression of your desires. Feel them as already fulfilled. Live as though they are already yours. Radiate the energy of what you want, and the universe will reflect it back to you in tangible ways. Even in relationships, this principle holds tremendous power. The more you let go of need, of attachment, of insistence, the more love flows to you. People respond not to your demands, but to your energy. When you are relaxed, accepting, and secure, your presence becomes magnetic. You no longer chase, and yet what is meant for you finds its way effortlessly into your life. Love thrives in freedom, not in tension. It flourishes in trust, not in control. Abundance operates on the same principle. When you panic about money, when you stress over lack, when you try to force opportunities to appear, you are creating resistance. But when you relax, when you trust the flow of prosperity, when you allow life to deliver in its timing, the world conspires to bring abundance to you. You begin to notice doors opening that were invisible before. You begin to recognize opportunities that were always present. You begin to feel the ease of receiving that comes from surrender. Even your own body responds to relaxation. Tension constricts, slows, and fatigues. Calmness opens, energizes, and revitalizes. When you let go, your physiology reflects your inner state. Your mind clears, your heart softens, your energy vibrates at a higher frequency. And when your frequency rises, so does the quality of everything around you. The people you encounter, the circumstances you face, and the synchronicities you experience all improve in response to your inner coherence. There is a telepathic quality to this state. Energy communicates before words, before action, before thought. When you are aligned, harmonious, and relaxed, you influence reality in ways unseen. Your vibration touches others. It draws what you need. It attracts what you desire, and it repels what is not meant for you. This is not magic. It is the natural law of consciousness, the correspondence between inner state and outer manifestation. Relaxation allows you to step into this natural law consciously. It is the gateway to mastery. You do not manifest through struggle, effort, or anxiety. You manifest by embodying the state of already having, by feeling fulfillment in advance, by trusting that the unseen intelligence is working in your favor. When you relax, you no longer resist, you no longer doubt, you no longer cling, and in that freedom, everything you desire flows naturally into your life. Even obstacles serve a purpose in this unfolding. They are not punishments, they are invitations to deepen your trust, to release further, to align more fully with the natural intelligence that governs the universe. Each difficulty, each delay, each disappointment is a teacher guiding you back to your power, back to your calm, back to the realization that everything is always working for you. And the more you practice this art of letting go, the easier it becomes. You stop reacting to circumstances with fear or tension. You stop trying to control outcomes. You start observing the flow of life with curiosity, wonder, and trust. You begin to understand that the universe is not out to get you. It is not indifferent. It is attentive, responsive, and intelligent. And it is always conspiring to bring your desires into manifestation. So relax, let go of the need to force, to push, to manipulate. Allow the river of life to carry you. Trust that what is meant for you cannot miss you. Feel the reality of your desires now in this moment and rest in the knowing that they are already unfolding. Your calm is your power. Your surrender is your strength. And in this state, life flows to you effortlessly, beautifully, endlessly. The more you let go, the more you give space for miracles. The more you release control, the more the universe aligns with your highest good. The more you trust, the more you discover the unseen hands that have been guiding you all along. Every moment becomes a testament to the intelligence of life. Every breath becomes a reminder of your connection to the infinite. Every heartbeat becomes proof that you are supported, guided, and loved beyond measure. This is the essence of being, the essence of creation, the essence of life itself. It is not found in struggle, in force, in control. It is found in relaxation, in trust, in surrender. The more you let go, the more life gives. The more you release, the more you receive. The more you flow, the more you are carried, and in this effortless movement you discover the true power of existence, that you are not separate, you are not alone, you are not in opposition to life, you are life itself, expressing, expanding, and thriving in perfect harmony with the infinite,